How is it going, everybody, and welcome to the first post-game report on the YouTube channel. The Cavs lose their third straight to the Detroit Pistons as injuries mount. The Cavs began, the second half, the quote-unquote second half of the season on Thursday night against Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons, and a lack of execution did them in Thursday night, losing 106 to 103. First, let's read the stat lines of the victorious Detroit Pistons. Hamidou Diallo off the Piston bench had 21 points and 6 rebounds. Cade Cunningham had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Jeremy Grant had 16 points and 3 rebounds. Marvin Bagley off the Piston bench had 16 points and 4 rebounds. And Rodney Magruder, also off the Piston bench, going 4 for 4 from three-point range. He had 12 points and 4 rebounds. For the unfortunate Cleveland Cavaliers, the returning Lauri Markkanen had a really nice game for the Cavaliers, posting 22 points and 6 rebounds. Brendan Goodwin off the bench had 15 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Evan Mobley had 12 points and 8 rebounds. Rajon Rondo had 12 points and 9 assists. Jared Allen had 11 points and 8 rebounds. And Isaac Okoro also had 11 points and 5 rebounds. Their next game is tonight against the Washington Wizards at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse at 8 p.m. Eastern on Bally Sports Ohio and NBA League Pass. Now, let's analyze the game itself. What went wrong for the Cavs? A slow start offensively in terms of ball movement and moving without the ball. It just seemed in the first half the Cavs could never pull away because of their struggles of the lack of ball movement, and also the same problem reared its ugly head late in the fourth when the Cavs finally made a run, but after they tied the game at 103, the ball movement just stopped once again. Another reason why the Cavs lost this game on Thursday night was the missing of free throws. In my opinion, it cost them the game as a whole. The Cavs shot a horrible 23 for 34, which is a measly 67.6%, especially when you shoot that many free throws. That's a tongue twister for me, always has been, so I apologize. When you shoot 34 of them, if you make 27, 28, the Cavs win on Thursday night, but they only made 23, and in my opinion, it really did cost them the game in Detroit. Another reason why the Cavs lost this game was late game execution. Over the last 2+ minutes, the Cavs went 0 for 7 and missed 3 3-point looks that were wide open, from Isaac Okoro to Lauri Markkanen to Brendan Goodwin as well. But again, the Cavs fought all the way back, and then the ball movement, the lack of open looks, so credit Detroit where it's due on the defensive end of the floor, but the ball movement stopped. And over the last 2 minutes, or within the last minute, the Cavs had 3 wide open 3-point looks, and they missed them all to tie the game. Unfortunately for the Cavs, again, this is their third straight loss, losing to the Detroit Pistons 106-103. And now, the most concerning part about this whole situation. The Cavs' injuries continue to mount. Thursday night, prior to tip-off, the team announced that guard Karis LeVert, who is dealing with a foot injury, will be out for the next 1 to 2 weeks, along with all-star guard Darius Garland, whose back continues to be a nagging injury, and there is no timetable for his return. And both are listed out again tonight against the Washington Wizards. Yesterday, I apologize, I got a dog downstairs, she's barking her head off, I apologize about that. That's what you probably hear, but on to Rondo. Friday, the team also announced that guard Rajon Rondo, who is dealing with a big toe injury, will be out at least for the next 2 weeks, which leaves the team with only one true point guard on their active roster, Brandon Goodwin. Now the question you're all asking is, where do the Cavs turn? Well, that means Goodwin, Jetty Osman, Evan Mobley all must step up and handle the ball and produce offensively, along with, obviously, Jared Allen, Kevin Love, and Isaac Okoro, who also must produce offensively moving forward. And because of all these injuries, the Cavs have reportedly signed veteran point guard Tim Frazier to a 10-day contract. That is according to Shams Kamara of The Athletic. And I just want to put this out there before I let you all go. The Cavs season is not over by any means. Yes, injuries happen. It's the NBA. Is it happening at a horrible time? Yes, it is. And that's unfortunate. But the Cavs season isn't over by any means. They still sit in playoff position, or I believe the 6th playoff position in the Eastern Conference. This team will never give up. This team will fight to the bitter end. Regardless of what happens, I'm sticking by this team because of that fight, that determination they show night in and night out. Cavs fans, don't give up on this team yet. Yes, we're dealing with some injuries. They happen. It's the NBA. This is a long season. Every team goes through it. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets lost 10 in a row because of injury and other circumstances. The Milwaukee Bucks went through a time this year with a lot of injuries in COVID protocol. The Philadelphia 76ers with the whole James Harden situation. And also Ben Simmons also. The Chicago Bulls, right around Martin Luther King Day, had their entire roster out, not because of COVID, but because of injury. They also dealt with a team-wide COVID outbreak, the Chicago Bulls. So, injuries are not an excuse to say, our season's ruined, it's done, it's over. It's not over. This team has struggled with injury all season long, starting with Colin Sexton, who has not played since November. Okay, so, like I keep saying, this team will fight, and will fight hard, and I expect a really energized team this evening against the Washington Wizards. You can tune into that game, like I said a few minutes ago, at 8 p.m. Eastern on Bally Sports Ohio and NBA League Pass. One thing I forgot to mention in my last episode, all of my social media links are down in the down in a Linktree link in the description below. If you want to follow up to the minute content on this evening's game, I highly recommend you follow me on Twitter. It is at Brock on Sports. on Twitter for that, and also all of the other areas that we cover on this podcast. Yes, I will be recording a normal quote-unquote episode tomorrow recapping tonight's game against the Washington Wizards and much, much more. So stay tuned for that, because that is coming your way tomorrow evening, most likely. So again, guys, I appreciate the support. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And finally, go Cavs.